Hello, everybody. My name is Marty Boy, aka Roberto Martinez. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I always call these things podcast, but I kind of feel like I'm really cheating it. When really, is it really a podcast if it's only 10 minutes long? I guess you could call it a podcast because I do go on vents and rants and other things, and really, you could definitely call it a podcast. But honestly, is it genuinely a podcast if it's only a 10-minute long podcast? I really couldn't tell you. And I don't know if that really is a podcast then. But let's get right into this podcast. Unfortunately, the New York Football Giants lost 40-0 last week to the Dallas Cowboys. This is one of the toughest losses that we had endured in a very, very long time. The Giants has been a disaster for a very long time, right? And we all know this. Since 2011, really, the Giants have been a disaster. And it's been a nightmare. But I have never really endured anything like what I haven't endured over last week. That was a hard loss, man. Like, just think about it, man. I get done with this loss, and I had to go to work the next day. I was miserable. I didn't really want to be at work, but I was at work anyway because it's money, right? But think about it. Losing 40-0 on Sunday night. You're up until almost midnight with this game. And then you lose 40-0. You had hope going into the second half. You thought things could be turned around. Nothing got turned around. It was an absolute shit show. I hear people say, that's what happens when you double team Parsons. Really? Did that double team actually work, though? Did it? Because, I don't know. Sometimes it felt like he wasn't even double teamed. That man was in that backfield as soon as that ball was snapped. Every single time. It was relentless. Every single snap. Parsons was in the backfield. My man, that ain't double teaming. I let the man go in the backfield. Like, it did a matter of seconds. Like, literally a second. Daniel Jones gets the football, and there's Parsons running to his face. Daniel Jones was sacked 7 times. Like, Daniel Jones couldn't get a break. And you have fans out there saying, this is why we don't want Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is a joke. Really? You're really blaming Daniel Jones for that loss? Really? If you look at every possible thing around that entire game, it's very evident to me the issues were very evident, and it had really nothing to do with Daniel Jones. He didn't have his greatest game, but what did the offensive line do for him? Literally nothing. What did Saquon Barkley do for him? Saquon Barkley got him an interception, pick 6. I mean, you really look at this, like, what really worked that night? I mean, nothing. Like, literally nothing. We had a block kick. Fucking Gano fucking has like 3 missed field goals in a night. Like, we couldn't even get 3 points. Like, it's more than just Daniel Jones. I understand people want to make fun of Daniel Jones because of the contract he got. I understand. But Daniel Jones wasn't the reason why we lost Sunday night. I don't know why I said last night, but Sunday night. Like, Daniel Jones wasn't the reason we lost. Like, there was multiple different reasons. Like, the Cowboys outcoached us. They outplayed us. But really, if you really look at the fact of the matter is, Dallas Cowboys really didn't have much of a better offense. Really, realistically, the Dallas Cowboys offense wasn't that stellar. I mean, it was mostly their defense. And, hats off to them, man. Like that defense is scary. Like, the New York Football Giants could not get a break. It was play after play. It was this Parsons in the backfield. If it wasn't Parsons, it was somebody else. And Daniel Jones was just running for his life. Like, props to Daniel Jones for enduring what he endured. And going into the fourth quarter with nothing to play for. That man was out there still putting all of his heart into it. And we still have fans out there who thinks that Daniel Jones is the primary reason why we lost. Or it's Andrew Thomas. And, Andrew Thomas played so horribly. Andrew Thomas wasn't even the worst performing offensive lineman. But because he had a bad night because of an injury, people pick on him. Like, I don't understand this shit. Like, did Andrew Thomas don't play on the right side of the offensive line where primarily all of our pressures was coming at? He doesn't. I don't understand. Like, how can you possibly make an excuse for Neal, who absolutely got fucking wrecked by Parsons the entire fucking night? You can't possibly sit here and look at that game and tell me that's normal. There's nothing normal about that. Literally, there's nothing normal. That was a fucking shit show. And as much as people want to sit here and act like, it's normal and, it's all because of Andrew Thomas. Andrew Thomas wasn't the reason why we lost. The offensive line as a whole absolutely was horrible. And then you start looking at the right side of the offensive line. That was the issue, because Parsons, every time he played on the right side, he was getting to the quarterback every single play. He was getting to Daniel Jones every single play. It didn't matter if we had two guys there blocking him. He was getting into the backfield within a second. As soon as that ball snapped, Parsons was in the backfield every single time. And there was not a moment in that game where Daniel Jones really had a clean pocket. Look at Aaron Rodgers, right? The Jets have just as bad of an offensive line. And Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles. He's out for the season. Right? There's no jokes about this. Like, it doesn't matter what quarterback you are. If you don't got an offensive line, you're just not going anywhere, man. That's just the facts. And the sad reality is, you look at Aaron Rodgers, who everybody had high hopes. I had high hopes for him too, right? You never want to see somebody go down like that. But then you get his trash offensive line who literally just let anybody go through. It's going to be a hard time for your quarterback to have success. And, what Daniel Jones did last year is remarkable, because the offensive line was just as bad last year. And he made everything happen. And, it's just amazing, because you have fans out there who think the loss is all because of Daniel Jones, and if we had another quarterback out there, things would have been differently. I'm sorry, my man, but 40-0 ain't changing. Like, no quarterback's going to be able to perform being sacked 7 times. It's just not going to happen. Like, I understand that people think that, miracles can happen, but being sacked 7 times, like, that's hard, okay? That's very hard to endure. And, Daniel Jones takes a goddamn beating, man. And I feel so bad for him, because he got fans out there who hate on him. Like, the one takeaway I want to bring from this is Daniel Jones ain't the reason why we lost. Like, there are so many different things you can look at. Did Daniel Jones help the matter? No. But the reality is, some of them picks wasn't even his fault. Look at Saquon Barkley. Like, he threw the ball to Saquon Barkley, and then Saquon Barkley catched it, then fumbled the fucking football. How is that an interception? Like, and they counted that as an interception, pick 6. I understand, because he threw the football, and he didn't really complete a football move. But to me, if the ball touches the wide receiver's hands, like, to me, like, that should go on the wide receiver, not the quarterback, because the ball literally touched the target's hands, and it gets picked, and it goes in for pick 6. I'm smiling about this, but it's frustrating, because Daniel Jones literally tried everything last week, literally everything. Nothing worked, and I have high hopes coming into next week versus the Arizona Cardinals, which is coming up on Sunday. I have high hopes. I think we're going to do just fine. I think in a couple days you're going to see us do quite well. But obviously everything is all depending. It's all depending what offensive line decides to show up this week. This is the end of today's podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I'll see you guys all next time. Bye-bye now.